All right, let's just jump right into it. You know that feeling of being stuck? Like you're running on a treadmill going nowhere fast? We all want things to be different, but what if the real key isn't out there, but in here? What if it's all about a radical shift in how you see yourself?
So I'm going to start with a pretty direct question. Just take a second and be really honest with yourself. Are you truly, genuinely happy with your life right now? It's a tough one, right? And if we're being honest, most of us just say we're fine, because it's easier than admitting we're not.
Well, this brings us to a really challenging idea. If there's anything in your life you're not happy with, your job, a relationship, anything, it might just be a sign that you're lacking responsibility, not to other people, but to yourself. Now hang on, this isn't about blame. It's actually about empowerment.
To really get this, we've got to pop the hood and look at what's going on underneath. See, a lot of our unhappiness comes from these invisible scripts that are running our lives in the background without us even knowing it.
And what are these scripts? Well, they're our core beliefs. Think of them like old software that got installed on your brain's computer when you were a little kid. It helped you make sense of the world back then. But here's the problem. Most of us are still running our incredibly complex adult lives on that same ancient, buggy programming.
And where is all this outdated software running? In your subconscious mind. This is the absolute powerhouse of your brain, handling something like 95% of everything you do. But here's the catch. Your subconscious is like a dutiful assistant. It can't tell right from wrong. It just does what it's told, executing those old core beliefs over and over and over again.
So what does this actually feel like in day-to-day life? Well, it feels like this. It's that nagging sense of being stuck. It's the shame that follows you around. It's the constant worry about what's next. See, when we're kids, we learn to hide parts of ourselves just to fit in and feel safe. But that habit becomes an unconscious, automatic pattern that ends up running our adult lives, often making us sabotage the very things we want most.
And when we feel this way, what's our first instinct? To look for a reason outside of ourselves. And that leads us straight into a huge trap, the trap of blame. It's a game you can never, ever win. You know, this quote from Hal Elrod just nails it. Blaming someone else feels good for a second, right? It's this little hit of relief, like you're off the hook. But it's a sugar high. In the long run, making a habit of blame is what keeps us stuck and in pain.
Now, this whole cycle of blame, it isn't random. It actually follows a very predictable pattern. It's a psychological game that keeps us locked in a loop of negativity. And it has a name, the drama triangle. And here it is, the Karpman triangle. We all jump between these three roles. You've got the persecutor, who's always pointing the finger. Then there's the rescuer, who swoops in to save the day, usually to feel needed. And down at the bottom, the victim, who feels totally helpless. But here's the most important part, so listen close. No matter which corner of this triangle you're on, you are completely powerless.
So, if that's the powerless game, how the heck do we stop playing? Well, it takes a radical new way of thinking. And to really see what this looks like, I want to tell you about someone who found himself in what is arguably the most powerless situation imaginable. This is Fleet Mall. Back in 1985, his life was, well, it was over. He was sentenced to 25 years, no parole, in a max security prison. He had completely destroyed his life. I mean, can you even imagine a situation with less power? But inside that prison cell, Mawel made a choice that changed everything. He came up with this idea of radical responsibility. He realized he couldn't change the bars on his window, but he could absolutely change his response to them. So he decided to voluntarily own 100% of his experience every single day. Okay, let's get really clear on what this means, because this is where people get it twisted. This is not about blaming yourself. It's not about letting other people off the hook for what they did. It's the exact opposite. It's a radical act of self-empowerment. It's about taking all your energy and focusing it only where you have influence. Your thoughts, your choices, your response.
So this sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? How do we use this big idea to escape that drama triangle in our own lives? Well, let's get practical. Here's your action plan.
It all starts with step one. You got to recognize it. Pay attention to your body. That clenched jaw, that knot in your stomach, that's your body's alarm bell screaming, you're on the triangle. Step two, and this is crucial, just stop. Don't say anything, don't do anything. Your only job in that moment is to calm yourself down. Step three, Take space. Seriously, get up, walk away, put on some music. Just change your physical state. And finally, step 4, own your feelings. Stop saying you made me angry. Start saying I feel angry. That little shift in words, it is a massive shift in power.
And when you start to master this, it leads you to the final, most powerful idea of all: choosing your response. This is where you find real freedom. Not by controlling the world outside, but by mastering the world inside.
And hey, this isn't some new age idea. This is ancient wisdom. The Stoic philosophers, thousands of years ago, they built their entire philosophy around this one powerful truth. Life is going to throw stuff at you, but your response is always your choice.
Here's a great way to picture it. Think of any external event, someone cutting you off in traffic, a rude comment, as a voodoo doll just sitting on a table. It's powerless. It literally cannot affect you until you pick up the pins and decide to stick them in yourself through your reaction.
And this right here just lays it all out. Look at that left column. The weather, traffic, what other people think. We burn so much energy stressing about that stuff. The real power, it's all on the right. Your opinions, your drive, your desires, your response. That is your kingdom. That's where you have total 100% control.
So here's the bottom line. The moment you get brutally honest with yourself about what you can control and what you can't, everything changes. You stop playing a game you were designed to lose. This is what radical self-honesty is all about, and it is the most direct path I know to genuine happiness.
Because in the end, your life isn't defined by what happens to you. It's defined by how you choose to respond to it. So, I'll leave you with this one question. What will you choose to own, starting right now?